with the shifting of our consciousness, because there's just too much. It's just way too much. And how do you begin to even counteract anything that's going on? I love finding out about all this information. It just makes me think that I really need to go deeper and deeper inside myself, because the truth is not out there. That's all the falsehood, and they're playing sides against each other. So the deck is stacked against us. We're not going to find ourselves, shift our consciousness, become more evolved and aware, awaken our intelligence. None of this is going to happen on this path. Whether he has a birth certificate, he doesn't have a birth certificate, or it's a phony. I'm sure by this time they could document up a phony birth certificate, and it'll take into the courts for millions of dollars fighting this thing back and forth. But I think really what it makes me feel like, what is it that my heart is telling me is about this whole situation, is that I can't rely on anything outside myself for any kind of real information. I need to tune in with people who are looking in their hearts for the authenticity of their lives, and what they want to do with their lives. What do we want to do? We want to bring about a peaceful earth. We want to bring about happiness. We want the law of attraction, so we can bring in the things that we need. And we really need to see the falsehood for what it is, because it's not going to get us anywhere, whether we're for or against it. It's just crazy.
Right. We could focus on the solution pretty much, and the solution would be digging deep inside yourself, creating this awareness, meditation, anything that's going to help develop you on your spiritual path as a spiritual being. Knowledge, true esoteric knowledge, and finding out more about history and how things really were, so you could study the past and kind of get an idea of where we're at, ancient civilizations. Something I found interesting, I was watching again, I watched it originally, but it was Leo Zagami, Project Camelot interviewed him. This guy is like a nut sometimes. I seen him like going crazy and just cursing at everybody. 33rd degree Mason. Yeah. So I don't know if he's a disinformation agent or what, but he was saying Zachariah Sitchin was a part of the Illuminati and there to mislead us as well, according to him. So I just thought that was interesting. I want to throw it out there. I really don't know. I'm watching, all these different people. I know there's a lot of disinformation agents out there, so we don't want to trust anyone in particular, trying to, use our own judgment. But he was like, he didn't agree with like a lot of the alien stuff. He said it was all demonic forces. So I didn't agree with him on that part, and that kind of raised a red flag for me. But it was quite interesting to know. It's like a lot of these people could all be a part of the Illuminati, and we're buying into these lies. Right. So we really need to, get to the bottom of it and not follow any one person as being the prophet. And then I watched another video, and Leo Zagami was saying he's the blood of Christ. He is the Holy Grail. He is the royal blood. And basically, I don't know, just saying a lot of bizarre things. I don't know what is true, but I just wanted to bring it up. If anyone does know the truth behind that, please let us know. Please send us some messages, in regards to who is a part of the dark side, who is a part of the light. We want to listen to the light more than the dark.
Leo Zagami, that was a hard interview to get through because of the way he talks. I've listened to that interview when Project Camelot first came out with it, and he double talks himself, and he isn't exactly clear, he's trying to put the focus on, he's somebody special. And honestly, I really didn't buy into that interview when it first came out. And then I thought I heard somewhere along the lines that he went back to being, getting more involved in the Freemasons. Yeah. So he may have come out and figured, well, heck, I'll go out there and just throw out some disinformation and get, Project Camelot's getting real popular and, a force to be reckoned with. And I guess getting an interview with them, getting this information out to confuse us. And first thing I got, because, my first impression was he's confusing me with the way he's talking. He's not answering any questions directly.
Right, no direct answers.
Right, he's trying to run this the way he wants to run this interview. And they're pretty strong, Project Camelot, with their interviews. So I got that right away, that it didn't seem like he was being upfront and clear. And it wasn't something that was easily digestible. And so for me, my red flag went up back then with Leo Zagami. He sounded like he was talking out both ends of his mouth, and he really wasn't telling us the truth.
And that was your initial gut feeling. That was mine, because when it originally came out, I got through like half of it, and then I'm like, I just don't trust the guy. For some reason, he had that, you could just sense a bad vibe from him, or a negative vibe, the way he was reflecting all the questions and stuff like that. But then someone was commenting on my videos and saying I was summoning demons and devils and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, so he sent me the Leo Zagami interview. He's like, make sure you watch this. Watch it thoroughly. And I watched it, and after watching it, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have watched all this, but I think a lot of people are misled. The people that don't believe in aliens, and they really believe what we see in the skies are all demons, and there's nothing else that, and I think it's totally bogus to even assume that, and I think they're misled themselves from people like Leo Zagami.
Right. Well, it's all energy, and there's all different forms of energy, and there's, supposedly, more powerful energy than other, and demonic energies and forces and things out there. And we align ourselves with those forces and energies that are out there. So that's why it's so important that we open up our heart and we connect with people that have their hearts open and that want to know what the truth is. I mean, it might not be what we want to hear, but truth will resonate like a beam of light, and you will feel a peace with that truth. And once that peace comes in with the truth, there's an acceptance. And then there's also, at the same time, it's immediately an action is taken, because that's how consciousness works, to move through that truth, to make the change that needs to be changed. It doesn't have to be with the resistance against something, but it has to be with the response to a truth and a goal of a new way of being, a new way of living, a new way of seeing things, a new way of living on this planet. And so I think when we're talking about people like Leo Zagami and some of the whistleblowers, not everybody's all in their center and balanced, and not every one of these whistleblowers have come to a place where they found their own peace. So you have to use sort of some discretion with what, you take the information and you sift through it and see where the real golden nuggets are in there. And I saw with the golden nuggets with some of these people that get all bent out of shape and start saying you're demonic and all that. They're in fear and they're afraid, and they don't know how to express themselves, and they don't know how to accept this subject, and they don't know how to move on, and they like everything to be nicely, neatly tied up in this governmental package where someone else is going to be helping them. And this is where they have their money, this is where they place their bet. This is where they're putting all the emphasis on, is that our government is so good and it's going to, and so it's going to do something for us. It's going to get us out of this situation. We're going to be the better for it and all that. But when you see what the kind of people that are running this, you start to think, is that even possible? Can you take this negative, demonic type of energy and create the peace and the love and the heaven on earth that we all envision, those of us that want this kind of world, this new density, this new dimension that we're about to receive, that we're birthing within ourselves. And so immediately, you start getting, your intuition comes out there, and you start saying, I don't know, you might be saying a few good things in that interview there, but it just doesn't make any real sense to me. And to start name calling and accusing people of being demons or demonic, or their intentions, I say, if you don't like the interviews that we're doing or the shows that we're doing, just turn to another show. I mean, you really don't have to, nobody's forcing you to watch
Right.
it.
You're going to be attracted to,
Yeah.
who you truly are inside, and you could focus on whatever your truth resonates with. That's totally cool with us. Just don't go accusing people of, summoning demons, and just because you don't understand that there's extraterrestrial life forms out there and higher levels than the human species that God, created.